All right, Florida's real estate market isn't necessarily crashing in my personal opinion, but it's definitely transforming. Demand, the numbers show, still remains strong. Migration is not slowing down either, and people want simply what Florida has to offer. They still want it. But the twist is in 2025 is they don't want just any house. They're not buying for convenience alone. They're buying for alignment. Buyers are skipping past listings every single day that would have absolutely flown off the shelves a couple years ago. And they're holding out not to check a few of their boxes, but every single one. In today's video, I want to talk about how demand, the current demand in Florida, relates to choices actually being made. If we have not met, my name is Adam Hancock. If I can assist you in any way in the Southwest Florida real estate market, please consider reaching out. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy today's take, and let's hop in. All right, first things first, housing inventory is rising across a lot of Florida metros right now. If you're watching MLS stats, you're following real estate headlines, that's a number that gets thrown around quite a bit. Months of supply, price reductions, homes are sitting longer. But the nuance that doesn't necessarily make the headlines as much is rising inventory does not automatically mean falling demand. In fact, if you dig into migration stats just a little further, things like U-Haul and Penske data, these are the things that track one-way moves. I think it's a fantastic indicator. You'll see Florida is still leading the nation. Cities like Orlando, Tampa, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples, the Panhandle, etc. They are still getting flooded with new residents. Census data backs this up. Zillow and Realtor.com regularly backs this up. Click-through data backs this up. People are still moving to the Sunshine State in huge numbers. So if demand is still there, and the numbers suggest it is, why are more homes also sitting? It's not because people aren't buying. It's because people are choosing not to buy what's currently available. They're skipping over listings that don't fit what they're looking for. And as a result, those listings are starting to pile up. It's a mismatch more than it's a slowdown to me. And if you don't recognize the difference, you have a great possibility of potentially reading the market wrong. Okay, next up are home prices. We are seeing some softening in certain areas, particularly in resale. But what's really important here is why. Historically, when prices drop, it's because demand has weakened. People can't buy, or maybe they're even scared to. But that's not exactly what's going on right now. This time, the price drops are happening not because people don't want to buy, but because they're not excited necessarily for what's for sale. Even with all the reduced prices happening right now, sellers offering concessions, builders offering closing cost assistance, buyers are still walking right past resale listings. Not because of sticker shock necessarily, but because they want something different. In my experience, they want new construction. They want modern layouts, communal amenities. They want open kitchens, big sliders, smart home features, 3-car garages, or maybe just something that doesn't need to be renovated from top to bottom, priced like it doesn't. I've talked with plenty of buyers who tell me we'd rather wait 6+ months and build something completely from scratch than settle for a home that isn't what we really want. And when that becomes the mentality, when even price cuts don't move the needle any longer, you start to see this gap widen between supply that exists and demand that's actually active. That's where we are right now in June 2025 to me, and that's why it's so different. All right, so let's go even deeper into that point, because this one right here is probably the most defining of trends happening at the moment. Buyers are skipping resale altogether, and they're doing it with full intention. They're not on the fence, they're not unsure. They know what they want, I think, and they're waiting for it. In many cases, we're seeing people building from the ground up. They're going straight to the builder, picking their lot, choosing their finishes, and then waiting 8, 12, 16+ months for delivery. Because even with the delays and the rate uncertainty that's possible, it's still worth it to them to get something that fits their exact vision. This is especially true, I think, for relocation buyers, which is kind of our bread and butter. If you're moving from out of state, buying resale can be an absolute nightmare. I talk about that all the time on the channel. You've got to time your sale, you have to coordinate moving trucks, liquidity management, maybe stay in temporary housing, God forbid, manage an older inspection, many more fun stuff you have to deal with. It's a lot versus buying new, locking in a price, and knowing exactly, kind of, when you'll get your keys. And when new construction offers modern designs, warranty coverage, stronger weather barriers, which has been a hot button obviously the last few years, and lifestyle-focused communities with resort-style amenities, it begs the question, why not wait? That's the mindset we're seeing. It's not about convenience as much as it's about control. Now, point number 4 is where things really start to ripple outward. Because so many buyers are gravitating towards all that new construction housing, we're at the same time seeing a massive wave of development move kind of to the outer edges of Florida's major metros. I'm talking about the last stop before true farmland. Areas that were afterthoughts just a few years ago are now getting serious infrastructure investment because of this push. This is happening because simply that's where the land's at. That's where builders can acquire acquire big parcels of land, design full master plans, build 1,500 plus homes, multiple pricing tiers, HOA protected amenities, etc. What you end up with after all that are communities like Lakewood Ranch, Florida, Welland Park outside the Sarasota area, Babcock Ranch outside of Fort Myers, places that didn't even exist in the exact current form they are today 5 or 10 years ago, and now they're full-on lifestyle destinations, town centers, you have trails, pickleball has gone insane, food truck nights. It's not housing in random villages anymore. It's an ecosystem. So while these older neighborhoods closer to the coast might be struggling to move homes, and this is what you're seeing in all the numbers, because they're limited for what they can offer this more evolved buyer, these new fringe developments are simultaneously thriving. They're giving people what they're asking for, and the demand is following the product. That's a really interesting twist to me in the housing cycle overall in 2025, and something that we're probably only just starting to see play out at scale. Okay, lastly, to wrap all this up, let's highlight the main takeaway. This isn't, again, a market collapse in my opinion. This isn't buyers just sitting on their hands waiting for the bubble to pop. What we're seeing in contrast to that is a very specific shift in buyer preference. And it's a shift that has huge implications. Buyers still want Florida. They still want sunshine. They still want low taxes, lifestyle, and space. But they want those things packaged in a certain way. They want new, they want community, and they want function over form. And clearly they're totally willing to wait for it. That's not something we see every cycle. Usually people are chasing deals, timing, urgency, or maybe a combination of the three. This cycle's different. The urgency isn't about time. I think it's about opportunity. People are laser focused on getting exactly what they want, and they're willing to make sacrifices in other areas to get there. Maybe this is 30 minutes of a further drive. This is waiting 6 months longer to be in the house, or even paying a bit more upfront. So at the end of the day, I think it's a pretty perplexing time for a couple states' real estate market. See, that's the thing. It's not even every state. It's not every area within the states. But if you say many parts of Florida, especially the Southwest area, and then you say, several markets in Texas, these are unique places that are where most housing needs and wants are being satiated by homes that don't already exist, which kind of messes up a lot of historical numbers. You have sellers that have resale homes that were built in like 95, maybe even renovated them. They're in good areas, and they still can't shed them, not because there's anything necessarily wrong with how they're going about it or any numbers that they're using to make those decisions. It's just the evolution of what people are trying to do. And in a market like this where buyers at least have the semblance and they're being told over and over and over, rightfully so in a lot of cases, that they have leverage, then I think master plan is going to win out. I don't think these trends are going to stop anytime soon, because it's going to be very, very anticlimactic to buy someone else's house that you don't know a full history for, even with disclosures, and you have amenities that were built for a time that is not today against what is currently out there. So I think this is probably going to come a lot down to geography. I think the benefits of master plan come at all the stuff I mentioned in this video. They can't simply go to areas that already existed. So I think that's going to be our juxtaposition going forward. It'll be really interesting to see how it plays out, where people are willing to go on a map if everything is solved once they get there. But that's kind of my 5 bullet point sense when it comes to this topic. All right, folks, that is a wrap for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my take. If we have not met, again, my name is Adam Hancock. This was the Florida Relocation Guide you were watching, the smartest way to buy, sell, and or invest in Southwest Florida. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. We have a lot of great content planned for the balance of the year. Probably have another almost 200 videos come out. So we're going to try to get deep when it comes to the market, individual neighborhoods, more macro community-driven insights with Southwest Florida. That's the best way to see what's coming next. If I can assist you in any way in the Southwest Florida market, I own a full-scale residential real estate brokerage called the Sunshine State Company. We do a lot of new construction, a lot of relocation because of the nature of this kind of stuff, but it's not mutually exclusive to it. It's full-scale residential. We can do everything when it comes to real estate, but we do feel like the relocation is a vague, ambiguous market, and we like to specialize in making that easier and, more importantly, making you smarter while doing so. So it's a very data-driven, analytic approach. If that sounds good to you, my real estate brokerage is right on the back of that. It's a baton handoff, basically. It's an extension of the YouTube channel. So please consider reaching out. Contact information is everywhere. We also have some interesting autonomous resources on the website. One of the best things I think we put out is a 30-day email. I only send one email every 30 days directly from my desk. And it's a manifesto, so it's everything that I could possibly jam in on a 30-day loop. It's a lot of Sarasota, a lot of Market, and then Tampa, Naples, Fort Myers as well. I'll show you a little screenshot here as I'm talking, but like I said, it's nothing beyond the one, so please consider signing up for that. And then we also have relocation guides, free resources. We have written versions of the videos on the website as well, so check all that out at the hub, thesunshinestateco.com. And again, thank you guys for taking any of your time to watch my content. We'll see you on the next one.